Hi, this is going to be a quick overview of graphing in Excel, and hopefully it will be pretty quick. So let's just start off. Let's say you have some data and you've got them in columns and you want to make a quick graph that involves two columns. If the two columns are next to each other, you can just go ahead and select the two columns and go ahead and move on up to Insert Graph. And the kind of graph you probably want to use is the scatter one. And since these are data points, I'm going to use the one which shows data points not connected. And so you select that, and you have a quick graph. Now, you can go ahead and update this graph as much as you like. You'll notice in the top here you have design, you have layout. Layout has all the different items such as adding axis titles. So if you click and do horizontal one and title below, you can quickly just go ahead and add in, hey, guess what? I'm going to label that as time with your units of seconds, and the rest of this is adjustable fairly quickly here. Now, let's say you want to go ahead and make a graph that instead has on it the time and the velocity. They are not next to each other. So what you could do is, so click off the original graph, you go ahead and select the columns that you want. Now actually the velocity begins with the 0.1, so I'm just going to go ahead and choose 0.1. Now go ahead and hold down the control button. That's what it is on a PC. On a Mac, I'm not quite sure, it might be the Apple. And you can go ahead and select, then doing the second column, you see that the two are selected. And you can do insert and scatter, and it should select the correct data. You can see right there. If you take more data, you can go ahead and type in 0.8, and let's say that this is 6.2. Then you can go back and click on the original data and just drag it, I believe here, drag this down to get the additional data added on to your graph. So it is adjustable afterwards. Now, one of the big questions is, how do you go about doing a best fit graph? One possibility is to go ahead and right click on the data and you can do add trend line. And if you do that, then what you'll find is that you're given a choice of different kinds. It looks linear. You can go ahead and set the intercept to 0 if you want, or display the equation on the chart. That's a typical one that you'd want to have. And so you might do close, and you can see it shows the equation right on there. But it doesn't give you any flexibility if any of your data points happen to be erroneous, or questionable, but happen to still be on your data. It doesn't give you any choice to, hey, ignore that and do everything else using the data points. So let me go ahead and show you as well how you would do this by hand. I'm going to erase the trend line right now. So we're back here with this graph. Now, what you would need to do first is go ahead and create a set of data that is a best fit function. Now, it looks linear, so you want to graph like a mx plus b. And so what you go ahead and do is you can set up your constants that you'd want for your mx plus b, your m and your b. So your m is going to be your velocity, so you make an initial guess, and it's just going to be a guess. Let's say, hey, guess what? I'm going to guess it's going to be 2, and that the initial position might be, well, actually, I guess I can see the initial position should be 4. And then you're going to write an equation, and that equation should be your mx plus b. So it's going to be the velocity. Now, I want the velocities to be referred to from each cell the same, so I'm going to do dollar signs times the time plus the initial position. Enter. And now if I copy that down to the bottom here, it should give us values. Now, something went wrong here. You notice, and in fact, if I double click on it, you can see here really quickly that even though I had the velocity stay fixed, I made a mistake, and I did not have the position. So head on back up to the first one. Let's correct that. This should be G2 with dollar signs, so it stays fixed. And I should be able to just double click on it and it'll fill it all down. How do you get that added onto your graph? Well, you can't just simply drag it down here. You need to come over to your graph, right click, choose select data, and if you do that, now you're given this menu here, and you want to go ahead and add on a series. So I'm going to do add. It's a little strange that they always fill it in with this equals brackets with a 1. You don't really want that. So this is going to be my, let's see, to create a chart. Yeah, so I see it's waiting for me to fill in the y values. So y values there, X values there. You can see it's already adding them on. If you want to give a series a name, you can go ahead and do so, something like best fit. Now, should look pretty good. We're going to hit OK. Now, the best fit isn't really discrete data points. Sorry, it's the burgundy one here. It's really a line. So I want to right-click on it, and I'd like to go ahead and format the data series. And up under the right-click, you can do line color, solid line, and for the marker options, do none. And I should go ahead and end up with, look at that. And now if I come back up here and adjust the velocity and make guesses, you can see I can adjust it so that this will hopefully fit well. Or I can adjust to see what kind of tolerance there is. So that's your brief intro to graphing in Excel. You'll have beautiful ones shortly, and hope it works out well for you.